Hello and welcome to Resource Report, where we share with you important information about local nonprofits and resource organizations that support the community we share, produced by Pathways to Agency.
I am your host, Rainmaker. Today's guests are Executive Director Shelly Willis and Chief Financial Officer Karen Oceguera of FESS, Family Education Support Services. Here's Shelly and Karen. I am here at Family Education and Support Services, FESS, with Executive Director Shelly Willis and Karen Oceguera, the Deputy Director and Chief Financial Officer. How are you today, ladies?
Very good, thank you. Doing great and really happy to welcome you to FESS.
Oh, thank you. I would like y'all to reintroduce yourselves, your position, and how did you come to be here?
My name is Shelly Willis, Executive Director of Family Education and Support Services, also known as FESS, and I helped found the agency 25 years ago. We now have 3 offices, one in Thurston, one in Lewis, and one in Mason County, all devoted to helping adults influence healthy child development.
And my name is Karen Oceguera. I am the Deputy Director and Chief Financial Officer for FESS, and I have been here for 6 years, and it feels like longer and shorter at the same time. And I just came here because I saw that FESS needed a CFO, and things just grew from there.
Wonderful. What is exactly Family Education Support Services? What do y'all do?
We're here to help the community with a focus on influencing healthy child development. So we know the people who have the biggest impact on kids and their future health and well-being are the adults who surround them. And we do our best to make sure those adults have the training, support, and resources necessary to ensure kids thrive. So parenting classes, support groups, home visitation programs, and one of our newest programs is our Basic Needs Case Management Program, which Karen oversees.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So let's talk about those programs and classes. Let's begin with Adulting 101. What is that?
Adulting 101 is part of our parent and family support program, and it provides training for young adults, 13 to 26, who will in the future influence child health and well-being, and it's a prevention action. So 8 weeks, youth are gathering to learn about financial literacy and conflict resolution and parenting, all kinds of tools you need to be a healthy adult.
Clarifying more details about how that service works.
Good. I love to say our Adulting 101 is basically you get a group of youth together and you are saying, okay, let's work on how do you make choices and how do you survive as an adult? And you think you got it all down now? Cool, let's throw a kid in the mix, see how that works. And it really opens eyes to it's not just one kid, so it's just twice as hard. No, it's one kid. It is 10 times harder now to be an adult with also a kid in the mix. So we want to be able to say, yes, there is adulting, and yes, you are learning to adult, but let's also do this responsibly and well.
So I just want to add that it is a skill building workshop, but it also is a great way to connect people to resources they may need in the future. So not only are we talking about financial literacy, we're connecting them to the banking institutions that can help them develop a savings account, and what is a credit card do, what are the consequences of interest rates. It really does a deep dive, as deep as the youth are ready to go.
How do we navigate in this adult world space and manage our budget, and how do we make sure we've got our rent? What are the different ways to do that and how to navigate all of that?
And relationships, conflict resolution, taking out a bank loan and what that would really mean if you want to buy a car or plan for a trip ahead. It is really about thinking into the future and preparing you to be a successful adult.
We are intentional at keeping up with what is next, what is happening, what are the youth facing, so that our Adulting 101 can also adapt to that.
Adulting is hard. I've been doing it for a while now, and we're not only sharing the skills but the resources. So nobody's alone in this world. You can navigate our community and find resources in all areas.
Awesome. That's all really good to know that this resource exists. Wonderful. All right. And then you have the basic needs navigations.
Well, basic needs navigation is really for anybody who comes in or is referred to us for any kind of case management, and it's super general. It is, I need help with my rent. Can you help me out? I need help finding a doctor. I need dental assistance. I need just anything. You could fill in that blank. Help me find the resources in the area. And that's what our case managers do for basic needs. We just make sure that those basic needs are met, because when basic needs are unmet, the parent can't focus on anything else. So we, in the basic needs navigation, strive to meet those needs, whether it's us who can do it at FESS, or we know of resources in the community that can help the individual. And that is one of our only programs here at FESS where it's not a requirement to be a parent or a caregiver. This can be anybody who comes in, any adult who comes in and needs any kind of assistance, and we are here to serve.
There's a lot of food that's out there available, but a lot of it has to be cooked. And when you don't have a place to cook food, that makes it difficult.
Very true. And our navigators, our case managers are actually really good at finding the different places for the different kinds of food. So if somebody says, I have a stove and a refrigerator, I can store these things, then we're going to refer you over to maybe the food bank who can give you the box of food for that. We also know that there are other churches that can supply foods that can be hot meals, they can be already prepared, or items that don't require any kind of stove or refrigeration. We also have, we refer to them as hangry bags. Basically, they are just snacks, but it's something to tide you over until we can get you to that resource. So we do our best to wrap around the person and what their specific needs are. Everybody's going to be different.
Yeah, and what about gluten and dairy-free vegan options? That's a really big issue.
It is a really big issue, and those are difficult to find in the community. Our case managers don't stop, though. They don't just say, oh, sorry, nothing for you. They will call and call and call and call and call. And sometimes they will have that the client right in front of them, and they'll say, okay, you take these numbers, I'm taking these numbers. Let's just do it right now and see what we can get for you.
That's awesome. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are all case managers who work with Choice Regional Health Network in their Pathways program. So the Pathways program is our case management program that we run here at FESS. But if somebody comes in and they say, I don't want to be part of this case management program, I just need this one thing, they'll still help them. They will still walk them through it.
Oh, that is really important for people to know, because a lot of the time it's like, if you don't do this program in all of it, you don't get to participate, in many places. And so that lessens people's agency as well.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we're not the ones putting up any barriers for people. If they come in, we want to be able to have them find yes here at FESS.
Yeah. You mentioned your Pathways program. The Family Support Center also has a Pathways program.
Yes.
And so is there any similarity, any difference? Do y'all actually work with the family? So is this the same program y'all are sharing? Explain, please.
Yes. So the Pathways program is actually run through Choice Regional Health Network, and they contract with all sorts of different nonprofit agencies in the area. So it is the same program run by different agencies. So anybody can go over to Family Support Center, or they can come here to FESS, and they can get enrolled in this Pathways program. And what we will do is we will also work with other agencies who have this program. So if somebody comes in here and they say, well, I'm already on Pathways, let's say over at Family Support Center, we say, okay, then you were sent here for a resource. What is it that you need? And we will serve them.
Thank you for that. I also need to clarify that Pathways to Agency is not part of that program. That just happens to be our name.
I have great respect for choice and their forward-thinking planning. This Pathways program ensures non-duplication of effort. So while we may both be serving the same families, we're intentional about not serving them on the same issue. We may partner to come up with a collaboration that meets rental needs, but if they're working on housing, then we're going to work on something else, employment or financial literacy. So that person can choose the resource they want, but we're not duplicating effort.
That's really good to know. We don't want to duplicate. We want to have everyone coordinating together. That's a vision of mine as well.
Yes, we wrap around the client.
Fabulous. Let's move to Consider the Children. What is that?
Consider the Children is a 4-hour class that helps adults whose children may be living separately from one or both parents. So navigating a parenting plan related to a dissolution or divorce, if you're negotiating future changes as the child ages, and modifying a parenting plan, or even kinship care if kids are going to go live with a grandparent and may have the grief and loss associated with missing one or both of those parents. This 4-hour class provides information on how adults can help kids through that transition. It is mandated in Washington state that if you're going through those transitions, you take this class before a divorce decree or guardianship would be offered. But we have a sliding fee scale that's very generous, and our whole goal is to help adults, again, help kids through what can be a tough time.
Oh, wow. That's really helpful. I just had an interview this last Monday with Laura Height of the Community Mediation Center in Centralia, and they do the same kind of thing. And y'all are also in Lewis County, have a location there?
We really serve across Washington state.
Okay.
Being physically present in Thurston, Mason, and Lewis County, and present around the world. We work with the Dispute Resolution Center here in Thurston, in Lewis, and Mesa County's version of that, and help navigate folks through the dissolution or modification, whatever's going on.
Oh, how do you work with them?
Well, it's a mandated class, so a lot of people going to them for assistance in filing their dissolution work may just learn from the court or from them that they have to take the class. So they'll make referrals to us, and if families are having a hard time with the parenting plan, which takes a lot of negotiation, we send them to the mediation providers. We also invite any mediator or dispute resolution specialist to come attend our class and learn the resources that we provide.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Dynamic Dads.
Dynamic Dads is one of the many different parenting curriculums that we use to help support adults influencing kids. So Dynamic Dads is specific to men and is provided at many different days and times. So it's a 12 to 14-week session. So once a week for 2 hours for approximately 14 weeks. And it has a curriculum called Nurturing Fathers, which we changed to be Dynamic Dads. And we get dads who are grandparents, stepdads, bio dads, gonna be a dad, all kinds of dads coming to ask questions, explore their history in fathering, and make plans for their future in fathering.
That's really great. You know, there's just so much that women have suffered. And so the focus is on, the horrible patriarchy that we have lived in, and men internalize that negativity, and that really can affect how they see their role in parenthood. And then you also have a lot of LGBTQ, where you have trans fathers, and they're navigating similar issues in that same space. but with a different nuance because they're also carrying dealing with stigma for LGBTQ. And I'm going to assume that y'all are welcoming to LGBTQ father parents.
Absolutely. Anybody in that paternal role. And we started the class because this is a population that is very underserved. The same level of parenting support and resources is not there for men as there is for women. And several men came to us and asked specifically for a dad's men only group because when you have a gender specific group, some people feel safer having conversations. And what I heard from men is they feel discounted in their role, that they aren't invited to take on a parenting role, and it kind of shifts in our society. You know, sometimes fathers are represented as Dagwood Bumstead, and they just kind of trip into the role of fathering when really, in fact, men have a very important role they play in parenting. Or if you're co-parenting, there are things we are really great at and things the partner picks up at, and there's a ebb and flow. We want to acknowledge the value of co-parenting and how to make that work well for the kid.
One of the main things that fathers come out of this with is knowing that they are important, that they have an important role. And even if they've been told, I can do this without you, or by the world that fathers are not needed or wanted, they come out of this knowing that they are needed and they are wanted and that their role is significant in a child's life.
One story that kind of shows the value in offering this class is a dad came to me and he was saying, I just feel discounted in my role as a parent. And he told me the story of going to pick up his child at a daycare center. And the child care provider said, hey, when you get home, you want to make sure you talk with your wife about getting your kids scheduled for a doctor's appointment because I think they may have an ear infection. And he said, well, I'm a parent. I could register my kid at the doctor's office, schedule an appointment. And he said that is just one example of me being discounted in my ability to also parent my kid. And that doesn't mean that single mom parenting is faltering. Women can parent kids just as well as men can. They may do it differently, but both valuable. And it could be the same gender co-parenting. It's all about how we work together to help those kids thrive.
Definitely.
I'm not sure we even have the words for all the new relationships we have in parenting kids, whether it's same gender, co-gender. Sometimes step parents get a bad rap because they're step, but all have equal influence over the health and well-being of kids.
For sure, for sure. Guiding good choices. That sounds a lot like Adulting 101.
It is also, we have about 10 different parenting curriculums we use. Guiding Good Choices is one that's very prevention focused, and it's for parents of youth in those tween teen years. And it's about how to help this kid navigate through addiction and peer pressure and all the challenges that may influence them in a high school setting. To become healthy adults. So in some ways, it is similar to adulting, except this is provided to parents who are raising youth rather than directly to the youth.
Can you give me some examples?
Well, we provide this class all over the community, like at the Boys and Girls Club. And we have youth there who are navigating into puberty and social situations that they may not know how to navigate out of. And this is about giving tools, the ability to parents to help them help their kids when someone invites them to participate in illegal activity.
Oh, good. Thank you. And then we have impact of domestic violence on children.
Also a 4-hour class similar to the Consider the Children, only this class is focused on how to help children who have been impacted by violence. So we have a class separate for women and for men, and it's offered in a variety of locations and virtually. We go into the jail and offer it. We also offer it online. And again, just helping adults help youth.
We as adults, we go through things, and sometimes we go through them thinking that we alone are going through them. And this is just a refocus to say, yes, you're going through this. And yes, this is hard. However, your children are also going through this. And let's divert some attention here to their needs. and how to best meet those.
It's very validating and acknowledging for the adult, and then it also helps them to reframe the context of what they are going through the lens of the child and how that is impacting them on an emotional level, on a physical level, and all of that.
Yes.
Developmental level.
I think of it as a speed bump. It may not be new knowledge, but it is a focused effort in considering how you can best help that kid.
Definitely. Kinship program.
We have seen a huge growth in relative placements over the last 20 years or so. By law, by research, what research tells us is kids do better when they can stay with family, as long as they're safe, because you have less grief and loss. You're not going with a stranger. It's usually somebody that you know who understands your family culture and history, and they're already connected in some way. So you get away from that trauma that can happen when you are torn from your family and placed with someone you don't know. But relative caregivers are also not planning to care for a child. Sometimes they may not have known that they were a grandparent, and they were informed by a late night call saying a kid related to you is in trouble, and they have to stop what they're doing and step up for this kid. And they may not have planned financially to now have a 14-year-old or a 3-year-old in their home in their retirement. So we do our best to rally around them to find out where the gaps or challenges are and what we can do to kind of patch them in. And sometimes that's training on how do I help a kid who is impacted by trauma, or it's connecting them to register for a school in a new environment or get school supplies or some special resources they may need to overcome whatever the issue was that brought them. People don't go live with their relatives because things were going well. Usually it's backed by some kind of trauma. So we help address that and then stabilize the family. Our kinship program offers weekly support groups and emergency financial aid and all kinds of training, all kinds of resources to help stabilize the transition of kinship placement.
It sounds like you're working really hard to keep kids out of foster homes.
Well, we want kids to thrive in whatever environment they can, sometimes foster parent placement is the best placement for kids. But if we can place with a relative, it's less traumatic on kids. So we certainly want to do that. In Washington State, for every one kid placed into foster care, there are almost 20 placed informally with a relative. And what that means is if you're in foster care, there are more financial supports, training supports, concrete resources for you through the state. But the majority of relative care is outside of the state, outside of the system, where grandma gets a call and just steps up and the kid's pulled into their home. And they don't have the benefit of a monthly stipend or child care or resources. So that's why we're there to help connect them to those resources. One example is we had a grandma we became aware of because she received custody of these two kids, and they were going to school, but in a different county. Grandma lived in a different county, and she was driving the kids to school every day and then sitting in the parking lot until school let out because she didn't have gas money to go back and forth to her home. So our kinship navigator was able to connect her to McKinney-Vento support within the school and help them figure out transportation that didn't require grandma to drive back and forth.
Also, there are a lot of younger kinship caregivers now, a lot more than there used to be before. A lot of older brothers and sisters taking on their younger brother and sisters. And so you have this newly married couple, and maybe they have a baby of their own. And so they're in this 2-bedroom apartment, and the mom, who's just in her 20s herself, all of a sudden finds out that her younger brothers and sisters need a place. And so she brings in 4 more, and they can't stay in this apartment any longer. And what are they going to do? And so it's not even just about the housing in that situation. I mean, they're newly married. How do they navigate that? And they also have a baby of their own. How do they become parents to siblings and parent their own child as well? So there are a lot of nuances to kinship caregiving, and a lot of people don't really think about the actual, like you're saying, the logistics of it. There are actual logistics of, I can't even live here anymore, and this is where I was going to be the rest of my life. So now what?
For sure. That's really helpful that y'all are helping people navigate all of that. Yeah. Parent for Parents.
I love this program. It brings lived experience parents who've navigated a dependency or CPS involvement and successfully reunified with parents who are now entering into a dependency. So they know what's required to reunify with the family. They have walked that path, and they're now case managing and supporting parents who are entering that path. So they will meet with them at family court or at the child protective offices as soon as possible and say, I know this is really hard for you. I've been in your shoes. Let me help you successfully navigate towards reunification. They hold a weekly support group. They have some emergent resources, and they're there to talk with parents about who are the players involved in helping them. What is an AG? What is a defense attorney? Who's your social worker, and what are they looking at when they come visit you? What does a successful visitation look like? All the things that help them reunify. And that's exactly what they do. And research says when we have an opportunity to have a parents for parents person, 71% of those cases are reunified, and much sooner than they would typically be. And we have someone in the courts in Thurston, Mason, and Lewis counties just doing that, working with Child Protective Services, the courts, and the community to help reunification happen.
Parents, when they go into a dependency, are confused and angry, and our P4P parent allies are really good at saying, look, not everybody here is against you. We all want what's best for you and these kids. We all do. And it may not seem like that right now, but when they are able to calm a parent and have them see the bigger picture, that's when they can move forward in the dependency. And that's what she's saying, that reunification rate is so much higher and faster.
Can we clarify that term dependency? What is the context around that?
When the state or Child Protective Services gets involved with the family and has to remove a child, they call that a dependency because now the child is dependent on the state care until they can reunify with the family for family care.
Okay. So that also is like involved in the foster program as well.
The state becomes a temporary custodian of the child, so they call it the dependency.
Okay.
And so often we will have someone in our fatherhood program, someone in our mainstream home visitation program, the mom perhaps, and our kinship program working alongside our parents for parents case managers to help reunify the family and negotiate visits and resources.
And that sounds like it goes hand in hand with your next program, Parenting in Recovery.
That is a parenting class that we offer in inpatient treatment and outpatient treatment programs along with the jail. And our whole goal is to help adults who've navigated the trauma of addiction find a path for parenting in recovery.
Okay. And so y'all are working, do y'all collaborate at all with some of the different drug rehab kind of organizations we have around here?
So MAT, Medicated Assistance Treatment Services, and also inpatient. In Thurston County, we're very fortunate to have a program called the Harvest Program that is inpatient for pregnant women who can go detox and learn about sobriety. And we go in once a week and do a parenting class with them as well. They have childcare on site, and the woman navigating treatment lives on site there until they graduate to outpatient treatment.
Okay, that's very helpful to understand. Thank you.
Every program we offer has a piece of the prevention component in it, and the 5 tenets, increasing awareness of child development expectations, building strong, positive, social, connective support networks, access to concrete goods, because when you have your needs met, you can then think about, as you talk about Maslow's hierarchy, the next step, social self-regulations and maturity. So that's the adulting 101. Resources to fall on in times of stress.
Yeah, there are resources. I think maybe it was resources.
Yeah. So we every program we have has components of that because we know those strategies will help.
You mentioned the Maslow's triangle, and that made me think of the difference between neurotypical people and neurodivergent people. And do you ever observe differences in how people who may be considered a little different? So they're on the spectrum. They have really severe ADHD. Might be navigating all of these different programs in all of these spaces. Do you see a difference there?
Absolutely. We have a tenet that is unconditional positive regard, and we train our staff around trauma-informed strategies. We try to set up an environment that's very welcoming to all populations, and we try to also inform our community about those. So we work with Sensory Tool House and some other Parents for Parents, Parents to Parents, and other resources in community, and just recently had a community conversation topic. These are events we hold throughout the year to inform the community about issues like a huge growth in our community on autism awareness, understanding the spectrum of autism. And we also had one on youth mental aid, and we talked about anxiety and the increase we're seeing in our kids kind of navigating some of those social anxieties.
Neurospicy Sisters Autism Coaching, I did an interview for them, and they have their own autistic Maslow's triangle that's upside down, and so it's a different structure.
We know Alex. We've been partnering with him for about a year.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to hear that.
Neurospicy, presentations.
But yeah, they're great program, and we try to provide that information and forum for them to provide that information.
Awesome.
They were on one of our podcasts.
Oh, really? I'll have to check that out. It's exciting. Parenting and family values.
It's another curriculum parenting classes that we offer. It can be co-ed or gender specific, and again, offered at varying times and locations. So a 14-week parenting class that people can go to and talk with peers and learn new skills and strategies.
Cool. Parent-child assistance program.
PCAP, their goal is to provide support to women who are pregnant or postpartum and have also acknowledged a substance abuse issue. And so they stick with the family, the mom, for 3 years and help them navigate into a healthy lifestyle. So whether it's housing or mental health or physical health support services or just emergent resources like diapers and wipes, they're there for 3 years no matter what to help them shore up.
Cool. QPR Suicide Prevention's virtual training. What is QPR?
So QPR is question, persuade, refer. It is basically the equivalent of, let's say, CPR, right? Directly related to suicide prevention. So in this class, you will learn phrases that you need to be aware of, just triggers. You can also learn ways to identify if someone is experiencing a suicidal crisis. And it's also a place to say it's okay to talk about suicide. Because it used to be, if I say, are you feeling suicidal or are you experiencing suicidal tendencies? Or I mention suicide in any way, then they're going to want to do it. That's not the case. This is opening people's eyes to the real fact that suicide is out there. And if somebody is experiencing issues, then talk to them. And that's okay. You're not going to make them commit suicide by talking to them. So you're going to question. And then you are going to persuade. Persuade is, I'm going to stay with you. You stay with me, okay? We're going to stay here together. until we can go to the R, which is the refer. I'm going to get you to somebody who can help with this situation. We are going to sit in this together. And so it gives you the tools necessary to be able to address the situation at hand, to be able to talk about it, and it gives you the right questions to ask someone. And it also tells you it's okay. It's okay that we are going to talk about this. It's okay that we are going to sit together, and I'm going to make the space and the time for you so that we can get you the help that you need.
There's a lot of fear and stigma around answering that question. If you're in situations where you're looking to receive services and a person maybe asks that, there can be a fear of saying, yes, I am, because then they might have the fear of, oh, the support system is going to look at me this way. They're going to put me in this institution and I'm going to lose a lot of my own agency. And there's a lot of fear around that. Or I'm going to lose my kids or something like that. And so it sounds like this program also helps to mitigate those fears and offer more information about what does that really mean to answer that question honestly.
And when somebody does answer that question honestly, it gives you the tools so that you are not making them feel stigmatized. You're not making them afraid at this point. You are going to be able to talk to them, ask them questions, get them to stay with you, and then help them get the help that they need. And so QPR gives everyone tools to be able to deal with the situation at hand. And if it's important for you to know CPR to save a life, it's extremely important for you to know QPR because that also saves a life.
Yeah, I interviewed Holly Wextol with the Crisis Clinic, and they also have a similar thing with training around that. Is that a similar thing? Do y'all work with the Crisis Clinic? Do y'all send people back and forth? What's going on there?
What we do well is partner. I love the Crisis Clinic data resource base. We can go in there and find what's happening right now. Where can I get food on a Wednesday at 2:00? Or where can I find resources or just talk to somebody? They have a really good youth phone line. So yeah, we have great respect for the Crisis Clinic. Happy to partner with them.
Wonderful. As I was looking through your website, I noticed the Parental Compass podcast, and you had a list of categories and topics there.
Yes, the categories and topics were actually created because it got so big. We have so many podcasts out there that if somebody wants to hear about something specific, they can go there and look through the topics. In addition to that, we have foster credits that we offer with the Parental Compass. So it's not necessarily that we give those credits, but if you are a foster parent and you need credits, and if you need training hours, the Parental Compass will count for that. So yeah, not every single episode does, but what we do is we say, okay, if you need foster parent training hours, come on over here, you fill out this form, tell us which episodes you watched, and you're going to get a certificate for that number of hours that you watched the Parental Compass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
there are foster parent trainings in there, podcasts in there. There are podcasts from experts about foster care, but also foster care from the perspective of a foster child who was in it. So it's from every perspective, and we have a host on there. His name is Bobby Williams, and he does our Parental Compass podcast, but it is on a ridiculous range of topics. The topics, there's financial, yes, see, like Barbara Coloroso, she talks about bullying. So there's about schools. There's how do we navigate I mean, the neurospicy sisters are on there. How do we navigate autism, schools,
Internet safety.
internet safety is a big one on there. Drug use, anything parenting related is on the parental compass, and that is worldwide where people are downloading those episodes.
Mastering boundaries. Oh my gosh.
In this commercial here, April 2nd, Barbara Colarosa will be in our community talking about parenting and sharing tools and one of her recent books that she
That's so cool.
and it's a free community presentation. So you'll see those flyers pop up soon.
Yeah, that's in April.
April 2nd.
Okay, cool.
April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and in that month, we are intentional about getting the word out about strategies to promote child health and well-being. One of the things we do is work with our community partners to plant around 1,000 pinwheels up at the state Capitol to just bring awareness to child health and well-being.
Oh, cool. And when you're talking about the categories, you have parental compass, early intervention, prevention, educators, birth to 3 years, 4 to 9 years, tweens, 10 to 12 years, teens, and mental health in general. And so you could click on any of those links for those categories, and that will take you to the list of podcast episodes specifically related to that.
Yes.
That is amazing digital organizing you have there.
Yes. Jacob works really hard to keep this webpage completely organized. And also on our website is the only place to find those foster parent training hours. It's actually Jacob who handles that as well. He's really good.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. What I love about Parental Compass, it's a variety of speakers that you can access at any time at your convenience.
Right on. That's great. What a great resource that is.
We are in the community in a variety of ways. We have family resource centers in Thurston, Mason, Lewis, but we also work through our many partners where we're at a tribal community facility or we're at the Boys and Girls Club. In Mason County, we're located in a YMCA. Our partners here in Tumwater are the Community Service Office, Welfare Office, and Child Protective Services refer to us quite a bit. We are intentionally accessible all over the place, so they can call us, email us, visit our website, or walk through the front door.
And because we're in Washington, spring through summer, we are outside at resource fairs as well. Not as much in the winter because it rains a lot, but we are also out in the community at resource fairs everywhere.
Fabulous. Are y'all familiar with the Thurston County Resource Hub? Of course. Yeah. Do you work with them? Have a presence in their space?
Yep.
And the resource guide on the wiki?
Yep.
Yet. Cool.
We are a resource within the hub. One thing we do not have are the set office hours there at the hub. We don't have that currently.
I think the hub is a good central hub to send folks where they need to go. But one thing at FESS, and we've been intentional about with the hub, is we don't just say, call this number. We have a warm referral. We'll walk them over there. We'll drive them over there. We'll do a phone introduction. It's not just passing the buck. It's guiding people in and through the resource.
I love that so much. That was one of the issues that I saw going through a lot of different support services myself.
And that's what our basic needs case managers do. They will walk right with you. And they keep up to date with who has the rental assistance right now, can help with utilities, who can do all this.
We talked about all these great services, these classes and programs. What does the process look like to get into all of that?
It really depends on their needs. So first, we will listen. We will find out what is your need. If their need is, let's say the only thing they came in here was rental assistance. Here's an application. We're going to need your lease and a ledger. We need something to show that how much you owe and that you live there. And And then once we get that, we take it back for approval. So it's not long. The application is just 2 pages. It's in big font. So, but it really depends on which program that it is. So if you're going to be with the Parent-Child Assistance Program, they have an intake that is longer, but that's a whole program that you're coming in here for 3 years. So their intake is going to be lengthier. They have a lot more questions for you. If you're going to be in our Parent for Parent program, you're here, I'm here, let's get you connected. So it really depends on what people are coming in here for. And that's why it's always the very first thing we do, listen. And we're going to be here, we're going to be listening and finding just from what you say and in the conversation, what your highest priorities and highest needs are so that we can serve you best.
It could be as simple as introducing and as complex as signing up for a program. But I also want to say we recognize that paperwork, the documentation piece can be a barrier to some folks. And we will do everything we can to not put them in harm's way.
And so you're able to help someone figure out how to obtain paperwork that's needed, or meet someone where they are. If they can't come into the office, you can maybe even ask them the intake questions over the phone and fill it out for them as they're answering. There's so many different ways and methods these days of doing that.
And we have bilingual staff.
Okay, that's really good to know. And access to more than just Spanish. Right on.
Yeah, and well, like many other organizations, we can't afford to have someone on site in all languages, but we do have resources to call on when we need.
Cool. Yeah, and so how can people get involved? Like donating, they have an Amazon wish list listed on your website, memorial funds, Circle of Hope, volunteering options, any job opportunities?
Getting involved, we love volunteers. We love our volunteers because they come in here and they really get the job done because they are passionate about what we do here. And so we have volunteers at our events or at Christmas time or even just throughout the year. You mentioned donating. Yes, donating to FESS is always a big help. We are a nonprofit and we rely on the community. And you also mentioned memorial funds. Memorial funds are really good because they help us directly serve the community in small needs that most places wouldn't be able to help. So like if somebody comes in and says, I need my insurance paid next month, I can't do it, and that's where these small amounts with memorial funds can really help. And that's 100% of the donation for that will go directly to the community for those small needs that other agencies or the state can't help with. And those can be used for really anything that the client needs right now.
What are memorial funds?
So memorial funds were set up originally because the founding people for FESS were Shelly Willis here, Howard Winkler, who was a facilitator, and Carol Simmons. And Carol Simmons had just been here forever. And yeah, she loved her place at the front desk. She said, I can be your steady. I can be your stable. I can be your rock. And I will be that person answering that phone. And she always had a smile on her face and she loved what she did. Well, one of the things that she used to do is when people come in and they say, I don't know what to do. I need to be able to pay this. And it was something small. She would look both ways. She'd reach down in her purse and pull out $20 and hand it to them and go, okay, here you go. It's for you. And she passed away. And when she passed away a few years ago, she left a gaping hole in our community and in FESS, in our agency. And can we replace the person to answer the phone? Sure. Can we still smile when people come in? Sure. But Carol was missing. And so this memorial fund was set up in honor of Carol Simmons. And since then, more people who have been hugely impactful to our clients have passed. And so if you go to our website, familyess.org, on the banner there, you will see multiple names of people who have passed away who have been huge parts of FESS. And so the memorial funds are set up in honor of those people and specifically for any of those odds and ends needs that are just out there. They are not every need is going to fit into a tidy box of I need rent. That's not every need. And you can get help with those things. And you just come in and really the people at the front desk, in honor of Carol, right there, they will listen to what you need, and they will hand you an application, basically just say, this is my name and this is what I need. And then they give it back to me and the basic needs team, and we review it, and we try and meet as many needs as we can with that. Those are usually smaller, $100 or less. But we can make big Carol impacts with the memorial funds.
So what's the difference then between, I'm looking at the memorial fund page, and there's like a little story for each individual for the memorials. But then you have like just the regular donate button.
Donate, if you just hit the donate button, it just goes to our page that says donate to FESS, and that will help with anything that FESS does here.
Tuition for a parenting class, help us put on our annual auction, which is coming up on February 7th. We have some costs like facilities, but sometimes people want to give very specifically, and that's why we have the Amazon wish list, because we know we're going to be getting close to school starting in September, and we are the umbrella organization for the Little Red Schoolhouse, and they have great need to capture all of the school supplies so we can distribute it out to those who need it in the community. So sometimes through the year it'll be specifically driven. We're out of diapers, we're out of wipes, and sometimes it will be intentional because we know we're getting close to school time or holiday distribution, and people want to give specifically.
Oh, it's good to clarify. Thank you.
So the donate now will go to really anything that we need here at FESS. Memorial funds are going to be very specific in out. It's
that's helping people that they have specific needs.
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned the Little Red Schoolhouse.
Is one of a couple of organizations where we are their umbrella, their fiscal umbrella, and that's really Karen who helps them manage their budget. And they're not big enough to become their own nonprofit, but they still want to do really important things in our community. So Little Red Schoolhouse is one.
Mason Prevention Coalition is another, and Thurston Early Learning Childhood Coalition is another. We are the umbrella agency for all three of those. And so as Shelly said, they are doing good in the community. They are not their own 501c3. So we will be their 501c3 for them, allowing them to do their work, but then all of their transactions basically and their grants and all that come through us.
Y'all are the sponsoring organization for that organization.
Okay, is incubation.
Yeah.
And when we first started as an organization, we were still figuring out how to do that. And another organization incubated us and helped us launch.
So what is your upcoming event that you have?
So Saturday, February 7th, it is our Seeds of Hope Gala and fundraiser. Every year we do some iteration of Seeds of Hope. Our whole foundation is hope here at FESS. So when we do our Seeds of Hope, it is an event to spotlight what it is that we do and ask the community to come and support us.
We have focused on kinship and fatherhood and parenting and recovery, and I believe entrepreneurial support. This year we'll be talking about how we've helped people find employment and build their own business.
Oh, cool.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you would like to share?
I would just say thank you. Thank you to you and what you're doing. Thank you for partnering. We couldn't do it alone. It would be hard for any of us to do it alone. So it's the partnerships, I think, that help us ensure that web of support for folks and that they don't fall through the cracks. And I appreciate you including us.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Just here, nobody is forgotten.
Yeah.
We don't forget the forgotten. We don't leave people by the wayside. We make sure that we are always listening, but we're there. We're there for people. We are a people-serving organization, and it's not about the money. It's not about our numbers. It's not about, at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. Did we help one person? Yes, we did it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. If you would like to reach out to Family Education Support Services, you can find them online at familyess.org or call 360-754-7629. Find them in person at 6840 Capitol Blvd Southeast in Tumwater, just next to DSHS. That's it for today's resource report produced by Pathways to Agency. At Pathways to Agency, we are driven by the belief that everyone should have the tools and support to achieve their goals and thrive in their communities. Our mission is to bridge the gaps in understanding, accessibility, and trust by connecting individuals to resources and sharing information and processes that can lead to personal and community growth. Resource Report offers information about existing and emerging nonprofits and resource organizations. Find out more at pathwaystoagency.org. From there, you can follow the link to our podcast archive and listen to any episode anytime. And check out our YouTube channel. Chaos Radio is not responsible or liable for any views or opinions expressed in the interviews conducted by Resource Report. Till next time, and thanks for listening.